have Mr. Michael Scott Forehand. How you doing, sir?
Javaughn Spencer, I'm doing fantastic, sir. How are you doing?
You know, living a dream, living a dream.
That's right, brother. Yeah, man.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, while you're watching us. Hello.
Splashdown, baby.
Well, Mr. Forehand, well, thank you for making it on again. Um, so let's talk about debt free life. You know, point blank period. I even got my banner made. Got to highlight the banner, zoom in.
Oh, there
Boom,
you go. Right on.
right on.
Very nice.
Had to go out and let them know that it's going to be like this for ever and beyond. And
My banner's in the form of a fish.
yeah, that's the Debt Free Life logo right there. So what's going on? Business edition. I think we're going to switch it up. We do some regular cases next week, but let's talk about it. Have you helped any businesses? How have you been helping the businesses in the community get out of debt? And kind of share with us what have you seen to, been the biggest benefactor in a pandemic,
Yep.
businesses closing left and right.
Yep. And what I'm seeing is some newer businesses and support businesses that work remotely. They need this plan just as well as anybody else. So I've got the two people I want to talk about today are the two cases I got today, one of which is a person who just started a remote personal welfare, personal fitness trainer. And that person's, they've already got a lot of clients and they're going to have a huge tax problem and some other things. So her case is really interesting. And I've got another gentleman that owns his own IT consulting company, again, a remote solution so he works from home. He's as busy as he can be, but he's still got the tax obligation, and he's got some other things. He's doing some big purchases and stuff coming up. He's putting in his own network and providing network services remotely to people. But it doesn't really matter. But there's a lot of reason, a lot of call for what we're doing right now, and certainly the business issues haven't gone away. It's still there. The solution's still there, and it's amazing what these plans can do for people. So
I sit there and I wonder from COVID attacking, everything, and businesses having to change the way they do things. And we're starting to see a lot of the companies that we assume that should have been okay.
COVID proof, not so much.
That they were COVID proof. And what do you think is the common denominator for a business that came back after having a 2-week hiatus versus one that ended up closing doors forever? Because I'm just taking a guess, but I'm just going to assume that debt, made a big factor in if they can hold on for a government, help, or am I wrong to assume that? Or what?
I agree with you 100%. It's a combination of debt and it's a combination of management. So if the people at the top, if they saw this coming, if they had contingency plans, if they were able to pivot, then they probably survived or are going to survive. If they didn't and they don't have the right people in place, then I heard somebody in our industry talk about how one of their companies, again, another insurance company, was instructing their agents to go out and carry 2 folding chairs and a folding table with them and meet people and sit in their front yard to provide this service. Oh, wow. It's like, that didn't go over well, did it? And of course, that company's no longer in business now. So this is a classic case of being undercapitalized, not planning for the what ifs properly, not having enough cash flow. And again, it all comes down really to management at the top.
Well, let's hop in and see, how did you help your business owner become cash flow ready?
All right. Let me go ahead and get this one ready. Let's see.
It's all about the cash flow. That's the reality of it, man. How liquid are you?
Right. So hold on one second. I'm going to get we went through this problem last time before, didn't we?
Yeah, you just got to share the whole screen.
I got to get that screen up though. So here's the So doing share screen. There we go.
There we go.
Still there?
I can see your whole screen. Debt Free Life.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm frozen. Yeah, I got nothing going on here. Well, let's let's stop this. And
I'll hop in. I got a good one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a good one. So
I can just talk to him.
This one was a business owner, and I actually met her as a mortgage protection client, and actually she was my first debt-free life client, and came back from class, was just so excited, and I knew she owned a business, hair creation and all that fun stuff, and she just point blank wanted to pay this house off. Like it was straight up pay this house off. But what was shocking me with it was that as I got the debt and had to really explain to her, well, as she explained to me what were some other goals, and she had bigger goals than just paying off this house. She had, really big goals. So this is my first case, Scott. Imagine first case, and I'm thinking it's just almost a $300,000 house, but then I see an IRS tax lien, and I'm like, whoa! Not realizing that's just a part of business, and just a few credit cards, and did $2,000 a month redirected. That's how much she just 2 auto loans, um, small credit cards, um, 28 years, and total debt 359,000. But the real debt is over $600,000.
Yeah.
Just redirecting $2,000, just a simple, for her, someone who's going through $40,000, $50,000 a month, got her whole home IRS debt paid off in 2 years, right over 27 months, and paid everything off, mortgage and all, in under 9 years. And it was like, see what we say all day long? Pay off all your debt, including your mortgage, in 9 years or less. And boom, just like that. Now, what's even funnier is that we're going to start another one because she wants the same product to be, and she wants the same product to be used for another retirement, solution. So it's like, wow. So you have, and then now I was able to show her, at the age of 70, you have a vehicle that has over $800,000 in it, and they're talking rental properties, they're talking this and that, and just 2,000. Like it was such a drop in the bucket, looking at all this debt. You're looking at over $300,000 in debt, and when I say, oh, just 2,000, stop paying extra on this car, that car, trying to knock out cars, while your big debt is the mortgage and things like that. And speaking with her, she was all about generational wealth building. So now I say, oh, and by the way, did you really, I know I wrote you a few $100,000 of mortgage protection, but now you have over $1 million in death benefit. Over $1 million, over $1 million in death benefit. It was like the light bulb clicked. Everyone was like, oh, wow. It was just, and that was my first, I must admit that probably got me a little bit more addicted with Debt Free Life when I saw that, because you have business owners that, I remember when I was a business owner, I still wish I knew about Debt Free Life before my business, suddenly crashed and burned, because if I would have had any inkling about it, it would have been completely different. Completely different.
Yep.
So that was my intro $2,000 over $300,000 in debt, $2,000 a month redirected into her plan, and everything paid off in less than 9 years on a freshly purchased $295,000 house.
Right on. Nice work, brother. And of course, certainly that huge death benefit that you created for her, that certainly fits the definition of generational wealth.
Big time.
You know, her kids and grandkids are going to be set, and then and you had a huge liquid there at the end. Yeah, nice stuff, man. Well done.
Thank you. You want to give yours a shot again?
Let's try one more time, man. Let's see if I can pull it up. All right. It's not showing it to me.
Maybe you had to do your entire screen this time.
Yeah, but once I open up my screen, so it's on my entire screen, I can't hit share now. Now I can see it.
We are.
All right.
Scroll down. Scroll.
You see it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So this is a woman that this is the reissue. So one thing I wanted to make the point about this person, her plan was originally written, and she had some health issues. We didn't know how she was going to end up being, and we had a concern. She actually did come in at a lower rating than what we actually applied, but it actually worked in her favor. And what ended up happening to her was, can you see the debt?
$391,000.
Okay. And do you see the real debt?
$509,000.
There you go. Right on. So, and this is obviously because she just purchased a house as well, but she also just started a business. She's retiring from the military, just started a business. And the business that she started is going to be a business that she's going to work remotely, and she's got some startup costs and things like that. But she is going to be in a regular situation where she's going to have to pay initially annual, but then quarterly and eventually probably monthly taxes as a self-employed individual, or when she decides to incorporate, either way. But the point is that this plan, because her health is not as good as what we thought it was, actually significantly increased the amount of the bank that she was able. We cut back a little bit on the death benefit, but we're not doing this for death benefit. In this case,
you got to cover it elsewhere, correct?
Yeah. She's got mortgage protection in place, and she's got another policy already. So we got her out of debt pretty quickly with this plan. This was just a retasking of $1,500 a month and stuff that she was already overpaying. She had when I first met her last year, she had about 14 credit cards on top of all this stuff, and she's been paying them off, and this is what she's down to. So her debt's under pretty good control. And then when we start looking at her roadmap, we're going to get a huge number for her. And she just turned 40 years old. So she's going to have lots and lots of money in that plan, not to mention what you just mentioned earlier. Big time death benefit for generational wealth. But one of the things, look at here, year 17, year 18. Do you see that?
Yep. No more premium.
No more premium. Yep. We have her retiring at age 58, actually 57. So she's never going to make another premium again after age 57. And do you see that cash value in the liquidity column over there?
Wow.
After no more benefit, after no more payments?
$500,000. Yeah.
And look at that death benefit. No more payments. That's permanent, folks. So this is, between those two, it's $1.1 million. And if she doesn't ever overfund, and she has the capacity to do so because she's only putting $1,500 a month into this thing, and she makes over $10,000 as a retiree already. So, but the point that I wanted to make with this one is that the critical thing here really is that she was able, even though her health is less, it doesn't matter, because the death benefit wasn't the critical concern here. The critical concern here was being able to use that bank. And when we actually did her bank, the original bank went from $1,300 to $69,000. Same premium. It's just it quadrupled or quintupled in value of the bank. We actually had to pull it back because we're not going to need that much. But the point is that even anybody with any health, as long as you can get it at least approved, you can have one of these things work for you. So don't worry about if your health is less than perfect. It's still going to work for you. Actually, it might even work for you better. And I've already asked, no, you can't just go ahead and submit at a lower rating. They're going to give you the rating that's appropriate for your health. So you can't just play that game that way, unfortunately. But anyway, so
that's a good job for you for not being nagged out when it came back different than you thought, and still working it and realized it was even a better situation for you.
Yeah. So I was so excited with her, man. I sent her her whole family. I sent them they like fried chicken, so I sent them doesn't matter. I sent them some fried chicken from one of the local delivery companies here. She said, "What's this for?" I said, "Well, because you taught me something today." "What's that?" And then I explained to her what happened. She says, "Really?" So she was all excited. I was all excited, and I started calling everybody and said, "Yeah, this is what you can do." And then I called the carrier the next morning, and but you can't choose a lower rating. You have to choose the actual rating. So hey,
yeah, Scott, you should be raising the bar. Debt free life with chicken. I can't do it, so you raising the bar. They're gonna call you. Let me put my number down. I might raise.
Oh man, so I'm sorry, Javaughn. I know you live down there in South Carolina, but the chicken here, the best chicken here is Pollard's chicken. They don't deliver down there, brother. Sorry, man, but it is the best chicken I've ever had. So that was my first client. I'm going to switch gears, and this is my next client. Let me get this. I'm going to actually stop sharing for a second so I can get back into my little issues here.
Touching the share screen again. Oh boy.
Okay, so okay. So this is the next gentleman. This is the gentleman who has the IT company. Nothing really special. He's got some issues, not a whole lot of debt, numbers of debts. He's got 5 debts. But the interesting about this person is when I ran the numbers originally for this fellow, he has about $50,000 sitting in a savings account, and that's earning 0.25% interest. And
did you say 0.25? Like
yeah. 0.25% interest is with Bank of America. So I mean, the larger banks don't pay very much on their savings accounts. Bank of America pays 0.25%. Wells Fargo pays 0.5%. You get your best rates probably with credit unions and things like that. I've seen them as high as 2.0%, which is, I think, why our software illustrates that savings balance column at a 2% return. But in this gentleman's case, he's with Bank of America because he's been with Bank of America since he opened his first account 45 years ago. So I get it, loyalty and all that. But the bottom line is he's only earning 0.25%. So when I looked at this situation for him and I saw that money, I said, there's something else we can do. But I ran this plan originally without any kind of drop in. This is just a basic $1,000 a month plan. And again, he's using this for business purposes. He's going to put the taxes up in there. He's got to buy an in-house network that he's going to be offering to offsite people, offsite clients. So for that, he's going to have some initial expenses that he's going to run through this. And we were working the numbers and trying to figure out how we're going to run it through. And then I said, well, look, just take some of that money, put it up in here, and just pull the money out immediately. So in the process of doing that, we ran a couple of different scenarios. This is the one basic scenario at 1,000. It works pretty well. He's got a fair amount of debt. We're getting him out of debt in 9.1 years. And then we've got he's got 1.1 million in 30 years. That's certainly generational wealth. And we're only running this as a 10-year plan for him because he's in his 60s and he's going to retire in his early 70s. So he's good to go with that. His situation is he can go for 30 years and not be debt free, or we can do this for him, be debt free, collect $108,000 in the end, have $153,000 death benefit already paid off with an RPU and have both growing forever. And that was the idea with them. We're creating another income stream and also potentially having a safe place for him to stash cash. But I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing again. And I want to show you what happens when we put in the other version of this software where we dump in money. So let's go ahead and do the dump in. And here's the dump in. So this is his dump in scenario. The dump in scenario.
What's dumping, Scott?
That's where we're going to take a large sum of money, well, relatively large sum of money. In this case, it's not a lot. It's $15,000. He's going to take $15,000 and put it in here on day one, and he's going to start using it on day one. And it's not going to be enough really to.
I can move money from my savings account, put it into my bank, and still start using it right then and there.
Immediately. Yes, sir. And that's something that I show people all the time. And it's a good scenario in this gentleman's case. He's going to pay off a couple of his debts fairly early on, and that's going to create that snowball for him almost immediately, which is great. But more importantly, that $15,000 that was earning 0.25% in his savings account is now earning 4% plus a dividend in his bank that he owns. Wow. So it's not just that we're paying off some debts and we're starting the snowball faster. It's that we're using the money more efficiently, getting a better interest rate, getting a better return. And also, I know that he's almost done with a fairly nasty divorce, and that money that's in that savings account until that divorce is over is at risk. So if he puts some money into this life insurance policy, it's no longer at risk. So this is another way to shelter, at least from lawsuits and IRS. This is another way to shelter that cash. And one more important thing to note about this, this gentleman has two separate companies, one which is contracted with the state that he lives in, and the other is just a regular private company that he does business-to-business work from his home. In both scenarios, he's got taxes coming in, and in both scenarios, he knows he's going to have to pay quarterly taxes. So when we created this bank for him, all he's doing is paying all of his taxes monthly up into his bank, and then he's pulling it out quarterly to pay his taxes.
So he's going to be able to earn interest on the money that he's paying for taxes.
Yeah, earn interest in perpetuity. Right. That's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
People are either running from the IRS or having to come out of their profits.
Right.
Moving money or,
right.
You're able to put it into your bank first,
right.
Earn the interest, stay on top of it. So you're pretty much happy to write that IRS check because you're going to be making 4% on it plus dividends anyway.
Wait a minute. But one more thing. Whose money are you sending to the IRS? You're sending the carrier's money to the IRS. You've got your money sitting in your bank. You're never using it. That's the beauty, right? So in this scenario, it didn't really make his plan, dumping in that $15,000. It didn't really make his plan run as far as this illustration is concerned a lot faster. And the reason why is because of this, because we've got too much money going in. So he's going to have to put money into a savings, which means he's going to start a second bank. But rest assured, it only shows a $15,000 increase, which is what we put in, $15,000 at the end of year 10. But the reality is once we capture all this in a second bank, it'll be much, much faster. So that's all I got on that one. All right.
That's phenomenal.
So, yeah, so fun stuff. He's psyched, they're psyched, she's psyched, everybody's happy, everybody gets what they want, everybody's happy they're not paying as much taxes as they were before. They're still paying tax, but now they're making money with their tax money.
You're making money, like what a nugget. You're making money for paying taxes because you're paying it into your bank first and then you're loaning against it to pay the IRS.
Yeah, man, making money with your tax money. How cool is that? Right.
That's the name of the series. Making money with your tax money.
Yep. Awesome stuff. And then also, in that gentleman, we also discussed some of the other things that the issues he's got. He's got all that money stacking up in those in that savings balance. So a couple other scenarios that he could use, he could do chunking with that money so that it never actually makes it into there, and just cycle through the money by paying down the debt and having the bank grow up and then take the loan and pay down the debt and just go up and down and up and down. So he can do that. But the other thing he's thinking about, he's got 2 kids, one's 18 and one's 21. He's going to start buying them annuities. He's going to start buying them each, $10,000 annuity a couple times a year, so they will be set for life. And that's what he's doing.
And it started from this, man, Scott. Oh,
good stuff, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What can go wrong? Our license don't allow us to lose money, but Lord knows it's fun to talk about helping people make money, and we're creating a generation of kids that won't be financially dependent, or you can't even mess this up, really. Like, once you learn it,
you can't.
It's set. Like, follow the diagram.
Just don't purchase the emergency jet ski.
Yeah.
Don't take that emergency trip to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you're using the money for the right stuff.
Awesome. Well, Scott, please tell Donna I said hello. Until we meet again.
We'll see you in a couple weeks, brother.
See you in a couple weeks with crab cakes.
That's right, brother. Looking forward.
Have a good one. Y'all be safe. Thanks for your time, Scott. Let's keep doing what you do.
Yeah, brother. You too.
All right.
Talk to you. Bye-bye.